Shanghaied is the best Spongebob special. Let me explain. Now, Spongebob has been on the air for 25 years now, and I always say it's a staple that touched every generation that came around and after it. And due to its extensive life, it is no surprise there have been multiple specials during its run. With double the runtime of a normal episode, specials were always a can't-miss event. Well, until they eventually rerun, but it would have been too long of a wait. To make the specials feel like they were something you had to watch, the show pulled all the stops, such as the commercials, the games, the fast food toys, the guest stars, especially the guest stars, even if you didn't know who they were. The point is, no matter if there was a nuke or an act of God, you had to watch. Now, when talking about the various different Spongebob specials, there have always been one that stood out to me, that being the 2001 special You Wish, or otherwise known as Shanghaied. To understand the special, you have to understand the time. You see, SpongeBob was starting to peak, having just signed a toy deal with Burger King and gaining a steady fandom, with famous fans like Lance Bass and Will Ferrell. But like SpongeBob, there was another thing that was starting to peak as well, that being the World Wide Web, where in the previous year of 2000, at least half of the US population had personal computers, and the shift from the previous generation of dial-up to the new age of broadband and Wi-Fi allowed for faster speeds, meaning faster communication, meaning more growth. Seeking to capitalize on this new frontier, Nickelodeon decided to opt in for this brilliant idea. What if we created a poll where viewers can vote online or call in to vote on the ending of the episode? It was just so brilliant.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
And what could go wrong with viewers voting online or calling in?
Raw time.
I'm masturbating right now.
Well, I think a lot of people are. Raw time.
The stage was set and the polls were a go.
Pokemon go to the polls.
However, voters couldn't vote until the episode aired and were given a 4-minute time limit, to give it that sense of audience participation. So votes were flying through the door and fast. In the original broadcast, the show displayed 3 different endings from least votes to most votes, with Patrick in third, Squidward in second, and SpongeBob taking the win, which didn't really peeve anyone out too much. Now that the background has been introduced, let us discuss this episode. The episode begins in the land where Encino Man was from, Encino, California, with Patchy the Pirate ecstatic with him showing us his favorite episode, Shanghaied, and offering the audience the choice to vote on the 3 endings. After that little intro, the episode officially starts. It begins with SpongeBob eating some cereal when suddenly a giant anchor just drops through his house, with him and Patrick believing it to be the sky's baby. When the anchor hits Squidward's domicile, he decides to climb it to see who it belongs to, with SpongeBob and Patrick following in tow. They soon find themselves on a mysterious ghost ship that just so happens to belong to the Flying Dutchman. After Squidward gets burned for his comments about the Flying Dutchman's mom, SpongeBob and Patrick make a break for an escape from the city, but end up in a loop, with the Flying Dutchman explaining that those who step foot upon his ship are basically his indentured servants for all eternity. Squidward protested this, so he gets thrown into the Fly of Despair, or he will get Danganronpa'd. Not wishing the fate of 2020 Juko Enoshima TikToks, SpongeBob and Patrick agree to do the Dutchman's bidding of instilling fear to Bikini Bottom. But in typical fashion, the duo completely mess up the job, and as a result, the Dutchman decides to eat all of them Reshiram style. not wishing to be eaten and sung about by the greatest double XL freshman to ever live, SpongeBob and Patrick try to escape through the dreaded perfume aisle. The duo then stumble upon the Dutchman's dining sock, which they take as he can't eat without it, much like an iPad kid.
Give me 10 days!
In return for the sock, the Dutchman promises the duo 3 wishes. Patrick wastes his on earlier awareness of the wishes. SpongeBob wastes his on wishing Squidward was here with them just when he got back to his house after the Fly of Despair dimension, leaving only 1 wish. The 3 of them argue who gets the last wish, leading to the voting section of the episode. As previously stated, Patrick got 3rd place, so he got to go first, where he wished for gum and they all got eaten. The end. Squidward got 2nd place, and his wish was that he never met SpongeBob and Patrick, but the wish is misconstrued where SpongeBob and Patrick meet him on the ship and they still get eaten. And the winning wish belonged to SpongeBob, where to save everyone, he wishes that the Dutchman was a vegetarian so that the Dutchman wouldn't eat them, but they get turned into fruit, about to be served in the Dutchman's smoothie. Hey, amigos, gotta hit that caloric deficit somehow. And that's the episode. Let's just talk about what I enjoyed from it. For one, I really found this episode particularly significant for the Dutchman, as this is his first time he's been elevated to a bigger role in the SpongeBob canon. In terms of appearance, he only had 3 episodes to his name: the Halloween episode Scaredy Pants, the treasure hunting episode Arg, and the episode where SpongeBob couldn't tie his shoes, your shoes untied. So again, to see him in a larger capacity is always a treat. Brian Doyle Murray has that perfect voice for pirate characters like the Dutchman or Knuckles from Flapjack. Second, the visuals. I cannot emphasize enough how aesthetically pleasing the night sky is in Bikini Bottom, as oftentimes you see a lot of light blues from the day, so seeing the dark is just a nice change of pace, especially with the green glow of the ship illuminating the sky, giving the background a whole new sense of otherworldly aura. And speaking about the ship, the design of the ship definitely feels lived in. Something out of a Robert Louis Stevenson book. Like, I take this ship and head straight to the Grand Line, bro. Not to mention the color palette. The use of glowing greens in dichotomy with some browns gives the ship not only the sense of it being something from a bygone era, it gives off a vibe of unnatural life, almost hypnotic. It calls to you your full attention and gaze. But the best part of the episode definitely had to be the humor, which is something I kind of find falling flat in most specials, as they're more concerned about the hype instead of the humor, often going over the top. But I have a personal belief that a great chunk of SpongeBob's humor comes not from gross out humor or silly faces, but through character interaction. Whether that be with Squidward, Sandy, or any other characters, seeing SpongeBob and Patrick bring their own energy to any situation usually results in a good time for the audience, resulting in many iconic gags, such as the howling scene, or what I like to call the parking in Atlanta scene. Just the sheer idea of the duo being forced to be on the Dutchman's crew and failing every single time due to weaponized incompetency to the point where he just wants to eat them is quite brilliant. Overall, this special definitely earned its spot as one of my favorites. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to hear more content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Peace.